I really didn't want to hold my phone, but the ghetto. So I want to talk about how do you crowd fund your goals. I'm sorry for those who had to wait for a minute. So you might have an idea, you might have a project, you might have something that you're interested in. Hey, 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 if you're not familiar, my name is Tiffany, the Budgetnista, your favorite financial educator. We don't just talk about budgeting and savings and debt and credit. We also talk about how to make some money. And one of the best ways to make money, quite honestly, is through business. And one of the reasons why business is one of the best ways to make money is because you get to keep a lot more as relates to like taxes than you would be if you were. So, for example, I used to be a school teacher. When you work a traditional job, the government tells you how much the government tells you how much your taxes are going to be. But when you have a business, you get to tell the government how much your taxes are going to be. So if you're just joining me, I'm on Facebook and Instagram at the same time. And I really wanted to talk today about how do you crowd fund your goals? Because oftentimes you might have an idea for a business, an idea for a service or product, and you're not sure, well, how do I get that done? How do I crowdfund my idea? And what crowdfunding means is that you literally get the crowd, you literally get a group of people to help fund your idea by prepaying in advance. That's what crowdfunding means. If you have not tagged your sister, cousin, and them, do it. I'm going to drop some bombs over Baghdad. It's going to be good. All right. So come on in, Tiffany the Budgetnista. I'm going to use my most recent successful crowdfunding venture that I just did as an example. What just happened? Honestly, sometimes Facebook is like the devil. And so yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. I hope I didn't log out of Facebook by mistake. That would be so me. Oh my God. That would be so me. So yeah, so how do you crowdfund? I actually have like my notes right here. So if you do have access to pen and pad, literally I have like step-by-step guidance of what I did that made it super successful. All right. So again, like I said, if you haven't shared it, do it. I'm just doing a little bit of sharing myself. So that way multiple platforms can watch tonight. And then I'm going to walk you step by step how to successfully crowdfund a goal that you might have. All right. I see myself. Perfect. Okay. We good on all fronts. We good. All right. So first things first, when you are crowdfunding, well, one, obviously you have to have your idea, your product, your service, or whatever. So for me, I crowdfunded my first children's book. And I'm not going to watch none of these things now. I crowdfunded my first children's book. So for those of you on IG, happy birthday, Molly Moore. For those of you on Facebook, happy birthday, Molly Moore. So I wanted to do pre-orders so I can pay for printing and things like that of the first book to see if there's even any interest, right? So one, you have to identify your product or service. That's one. For me, it was my children's book, my first financial children's book. So we're talking about how to crowdfund your financial goals. Two, something that I did, I had to pick the platform. I decided to choose Kickstarter because Kickstarter is a well-known crowdfunding platform that I knew that a lot of people knew and trusted, and I wasn't going to have to it's not true that I didn't have to educate people on Kickstarter because I still did. There were still plenty of people, honestly, that had no idea what Kickstarter was. But at least I had a decent amount of people that knew what Kickstarter was. So one, picking your product or service. Two, choosing your platform. That's going to be really important. So three, once you kind of have your product or service, you've done the due diligence of figuring out what it is you want to deliver to your audience, and and you're knowing how much you want to raise to get that particular thing done. You want to pick your goals. The education piece is going to be so important and so critical. So we're talking about crowdfunding your goals. For those of you just coming on, share, because I think not enough people talk about crowdfunding, especially with us, and how it's an option to launching business. If there are some businesses that don't need much money to start, like if you have a service business, right? So service business meaning when I still am a speaker, I didn't really need money to start. But what if I wanted to, See this little baby doll? This is my Molly Moore baby doll. How cute is she, right? So this is just a prototype. We still got to add the dimples and the little smile, right? So you see my little Molly Moore baby doll. What if, oh, her little bow's coming off. Anyway, what if I wanted to manufacture dolls? You have to have money. And how do you get money to do so? And so one of the ways that you can get money to do so is to crowdfund. That's why I said share this video. So one of the ways to do so is to crowdfund, meaning to get other people to kind of prepay in advance for the idea that you have. So that way you have the money to bring the idea to fruition. Got it? Good. Okay. So one, figure out the product or service that you're wanting, develop that out, at least on paper. Two, pick the platform. I picked Kickstarter. If you have, maybe what you're doing is for a nonprofit, Indiegogo is a good one. There's also GoFundMe, but Kickstarter is really good if you have a physical, like I said, mine is my first children's book, Happy Birthday, Molly Moore. So mine is a physical product. This is just like the proof. They give you like the little fake cover as proof. Mine is a physical product. And so Kickstarter is really good if you have a physical product, okay? Now, once you kind of worked out, oh, I want to make a watch or a doll or a lip gloss or a water bottle, whatever that is, once you figure that out and you've kind of like worked through that, it is going to be so important once you pick the platform that you give yourself at minimum 2 months. 2 months. Somebody write 2 months for y'all asking about the dolls. Available at mollymoore.com. It's in the link in IG and in the link in Facebook. So you want to give yourself at minimum 2 months to prepare, because in those 2 months to prepare for your launch, your crowdfund launch, you are going to need to educate yourself on the platform. We're going to talk about Kickstarter because for the most part, it's the same as far as what I'm going to share with you. But because I use Kickstarter, that's what I'm going to teach you on. So educate yourself. So you're going to want to, here's a book that I got that was so good and so helpful. Kickstarter Launch Formula by Salvador Brigman. So good. Can you see it? Facebook? Can you see it? Instagram? This was such a good book. You see it's all bended up because he really walked with me through step by step. How do I successfully launch a Kickstarter? And Salvador, and so write this down, take a screenshot. I'm gonna hold it for a little bit. Salvador Brigman, take a screenshot if you need it. But what I loved about Salvador Brigman is that he's done a lot of also podcasts, YouTube videos. So even if you don't get the book, at least Google him, Google him and watch some of his YouTube videos and listen to some of the podcasts that he's been on. A wealth of knowledge. So educate yourself, because launching a Kickstarter was like having a second job. I didn't realize what a big, heavy lift it was going to be. And then if I had not done the pre-work, the hardest part of the Kickstarter was not now, because I have 24 hours left on my current Kickstarter. That's not the hardest part. If you have not shared this video, you're playing the friends in your life, because at some point, someone in your life is going to need to raise this money. Share, right? And so the hardest part was actually not during the actual Kickstarter. The hardest part was the work before. But the more work you do before the Kickstarter, the easier the actual Kickstarter is going to be. Okay? Okay. She said, turn it upside down if you turn it around. I can't turn it around. It's not upside down, one. And then two, I can't turn it around. It splits. You know what I mean? Like, you talking about do it this way? Like, girl, it's not gonna work that way. It's because when you're on video, it's a mirror image. There's nothing I can do about mirror image. I can't, all I can do is hold the book. But it's not that hard to read. Launch formula. Come on now. Y'all do Sudoku? Come on. Stretch. It says Kickstarter launch formula. Okay. All right. Take a screenshot if you need it. Okay. She said, turn it upside. It ain't upside down. So educate. Get that book, or at the very least, Salvador Brigman. There's also Kickstarter Facebook groups that you can join. It might seem like all of that. Do you want this money or not? It's going to be important that you do the pre-work, right? So book, YouTube, podcast, that is super important to do the education ahead of time so you can understand how to use the platform that you're going to use. And what I like about the Kickstarter formula, that it's not just for Kickstarter. It talks about Indiegogo and other crowdfunding websites, meaning that it's in general, how do you crowdfund? Like, that's what that book taught me. Another thing, and aside from the education, the second most critical, almost most critical, is the financials. Oh my goodness, the financials. So here, okay, so Deborah, some of you guys are asking, what is Kickstarter? So if you're just joining, Kickstarter is a crowdfunding platform where you have an idea that maybe you don't have all the money to produce yet. And so you present the idea to the crowd, your network, your friends, your friends, friends, your friends, 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 and they prepay in advance for the thing. They pre-order your thing in advance. Like I said, mine was my first children's book, Happy Birthday, Molly Moore. I gave you guys the option to go to mollymoore.com. You still have 24 hours to grab your book, to go to mollymoore.com and to pre-order the book. And then so I don't have the books yet in my house because in order for me to print, say 10,000 books, it's $40,000. Okay. So when you pre-order, now I can use the money that you gave me to now print the books and send it to you. So for some people, it might be creating this water bottle, right? I don't know. It's one of those water bottles that keeps cold for a long time. So what is this water bottle? I'm like, do people really want this water bottle? It cost me $10 to make. And so I do a Kickstarter. In the Kickstarter, for every $20 you donate, you get the water bottle. So I don't have enough money. So maybe I want to produce 1,000 of these. 1,000 times 10 is $10,000. I don't have $10,000, let's just say. So I can maybe get like not a template. What's the word? You get like a model. It's a word I'm missing. I know one of you guys is gonna give it to me. You get like a model or whatever of these made, right? And then via Kickstarter, you say, depending on how many you guys purchase via the pre-order, I'll be able to create these and then send it out to you. So it's a great way to, one, test your product or service without having to put up too much money, and two, get pre-orders. Prototype. There you go. Y'all smart. Prototype. Okay? Okay. So I'm just like looking at what some of y'all are saying. All right. All right. So like I said, if you have not shared this video, we drop a dime on how to crowdsource your goals, right? That was Kickstarter. That's what Kickstarter, Indiegogo, GoFundMe, sometimes people use for other things, but Kickstarter and mostly Indiegogo, these are platforms where you can present your idea that you don't quite have the funding for, let people prepay, so that way you can use the money to then fund your idea and give it to those first additional customers. Got it? Good. So educate yourself. I showed you the book, YouTube, podcast, the financials. The financials took me a month to figure out. That's how important. That's why I said before you launch your Kickstarter or crowdfunding campaign, get your financials in order, meaning you need to identify how much is it going to really cost you to fulfill the thing people are buying. So for me, the book, right? I was like, yay, Molly Moore, the book. The book is going to cost me, like say $5 to print. No biggie, okay. So then that means in Molly Moore, maybe I'll ask you guys to give me $5. No. The book is going to cost me $5 to print. Shipping is another $3. Oh, so that means I need to ask for $7 per book. No. Kickstarter charges, there's a 20 or 25%, 20 or 25 cent fee every time you make a pledge on Kickstarter. Okay, so $7.25 is what I asked for. No. Kickstarter also says for every pledge, there is a 3% Kickstarter fee, I believe, and a 2% Kickstarter, or 2 or 5% Kickstarter fee, and then a 3% credit card fee. So do you understand why the financials are so critical? So for me to send you this book that might cost me $5 to print, but how much to ship, how much to store this book, because if I also order like, I don't know, 1,000 of these books, I got to store it somewhere if it's not at my house. So it might be $40 a month. So I have to then divide 1,000 books divided by $40 by how much one book costs to store. And then I literally created an Excel spreadsheet where I put in all of the numbers for one book. It might cost me $15 to get one book to you. You see? So it's like, oh, but what if I was like, oh, book only cost me $5. That's what people do wrong with crowdfunding. That's why sometimes you hear about people will crowdfund something and they don't have the money to send it to you because they got your $5, not realizing it cost them $15 to actually get you the actual book in hand. You see what I mean? Yes. And so like that part is like, oh, that's why I said, if you have not shared this video, share it, because I'm breaking down the things I've really learned via crowdfunding. Right? So once I created that in Excel spreadsheet, I was able to say, okay, like for example, This doll baby. So the way it works with crowdfunding, like with Kickstarter and like Indiegogo, you give something called rewards. So rewards can be something like, look, I created Molly Moore. This is a magnet, right? So I had to price out and find how much for one magnet. So if, let's just say you chose reward tier, because the way it works with Kickstarter, Kickstarter is not a store. That's not what crowdfunding is. You're not buying from a store. You are crowdfunding. You are donating or giving money. In exchange, you get a reward. So it feels like a store, but it's not. So if you gave $30 to my Kickstarter at mollymore.com, link in the description of this video and pinned, if you gave $30, that means I was going to give you this book plus I created some digital downloads. So I had my designer create some coloring pages, like a little coloring book, plus a digital download, a video, like I did like a exclusive, like I think it was like a credit or budget video. So you get that. Plus, for every book that you bought, I'm also giving away a book, right? So there are some rewards that I have when you pledge a certain amount that you get a magnet. So this is a magnet, see? A magnet, plus you get the book, plus you get, like, look, oh, this is why the pre-work is so important. See how it takes like 2 months at minimum? Plus you see this tote, ain't this tote cute? Plus you get a tote. So I have maybe like 7 or 8 reward tiers. And here's one of the reward tiers, right? So this doll is not cheap because it's handmade by Yolanda, my pretty brown doll. So this is the prototype. So we have like the full one has the dimples like Molly Moore and her smile. This doll costs $150 to crochet, okay? Because it takes 3 days to crochet this doll. So I put the reward tier with this doll. If you choose the $350 reward tier, you get the doll, you get the magnet, you get the book, you get the tote, you get all the swag when it comes with. But I had to price it to make sure that, because I can't just say that reward tier is $150 because that's just for the doll. It doesn't even include shipping. Shipping the doll is $8. And then on top of that, it doesn't include the Kickstarter wants their 3% or 5%, and then the credit card people want their 3%. Do you see? Getting that math, oh my, like I said, it took me a month to get the math right. So I literally created a spreadsheet where I wrote down all the components, shipping, fulfilling, creating the item itself. I had to write down every little piece. For this reward tier, I'm giving away 6 things. How much does it cost to print, fulfill, deliver each of those 6 things? And then I had, like, with Excel, you could like add up the math. I was like, oh, that whole reward tier costs $300 for me to give you all that stuff, including the doll, right? So that means I'm going to ask for $350 because I want the $50 left over, because I'm also, for my Kickstarter, I'm using the excess money to, one, donate copies of this book to kids in low-income communities. So I need that extra $50 for that. And I have to then figure out how much money it's going to cost to donate one book. So I have to add that into Kickstarter. And 2, I want to hire teachers to write financial education curriculum that can donate right back to you. So I had to factor that in too. Do you see, like, I cannot express to you how important the financials are. If you have not tagged your person, tag your accountability partner, share this video, do a watch party, because this is like the secret behind Kickstarter. So the financial part is like, whew, so getting those numbers right, because what you don't want to do is that you don't want to ask for too little. Because I've seen it time and time again. Someone does a Kickstarter, they raise $15,000, $10,000, and they realize, dang, it cost me $30,000, $20,000. I can't do it. And then people are mad because they gave you their money and they don't get their stuff. That's not happening around these parts. Okay. So the financials. So we talked about the education, get you Kickstarter launch formula, follow Salvador Bragman, YouTube, Instagram, all of that stuff, right? The financials. And now let's talk about pre-engagement. One of the things I learned from that Kickstarter, that launch formula, is to pre-engage your audience. So something that I did was I bought mollymore.com, MALIMORE. I bought mollymore.com before I even started. And I had a basic website built on WordPress. You know, you can build your own, you can use Wix, you can use whatever. But I put up the website and I was sending people to the website saying, hey, so one, I already had the cover. I use this website called Canva. So think of Canvas with the S without the S, canva.com, CANVA. C like cat, A like apple, N like Nancy, B like Vanessa, A like apple, Canva. So I uploaded, so like my illustrator gave me the book cover. I uploaded it to Canva. Why I like Canva is that I'm not a designer, but when I upload stuff to Canva, Canva says, what size do you want it to be? You want it to be size for Instagram, for Facebook? What about Facebook banner? Maybe you want Instagram stories. Canva has the size, and you just got to upload it up. If you could upload to Facebook, you could upload to Canva. Woo, child. Canva is life, okay? And so I took the photo, the picture, uploaded it to Canva, Instagram size, Facebook size, and then I posted it on my social, said, I have a new financial children's book coming out. If you want to be on the VIP list to pre-order, go to mollymore.com. On Facebook, I put the link. What I'm learning with Facebook now, it used to be that you could just put mollymore.com. Now on Facebook, if you don't put the www, people can't click on it. So www.mollymore.com. And on Instagram, I would say www.mollymore.com or click the link in my bio. And I switched out the link in my bio for her link, right? And so people will go to this one-page site, and it would say like all the stuff about Molly Moore. And there was a video, I actually went and got a videographer. So you don't have to do all this. I went the extra mile. You don't have to, but I had, because you can do a video. I have done videos right on my computer, sitting in front of my computer, right? Like I am now. And the videos, you can do a video on your phone, right? Upload it to YouTube. And what I love about YouTube is that it's super easy. Like if you can upload to Facebook, you can upload to YouTube. So I had done the video right on my computer and just done the video like, so it might take me 10 times to get the video right because I don't know how to edit. So I'll just sit in front of my computer and practice, and then do the video. 2 minutes of me talking and saying the thing, getting it right, cutting it off at the perfect time, no editing. Save it, upload it to YouTube. And with YouTube, literally in WordPress or most of these sites, they say, want to add a video someplace behind the scenes? Do you have a YouTube link? You literally just grab the YouTube link and they will populate it on your website for you. So you don't got to be techie because I'm not techie. Okay. So there's that. So upload to YouTube, do a video. You know, it's always nice to have a video of you explaining. And I had some words that I wrote, like, you know, Molly Moore is about a little girl who's learning financial education in this way. And this is why it's so important, yada, yada, yada. If you would like to be on the VIP pre-list and know about when the Kickstarter that's coming is going to launch, go here. So I created this VIP pre-list because I learned that although the Budgetnista has a solid big audience, not everyone who is a Budgetnista follower is going to be a Molly Moore follower. Everybody's not a parent or a teacher or whatever. So it was like, I'm so glad I did that, because you have to get people primed and ready, not just, hey, I'm here, buy it. No, you want to get people primed and ready. And so what I did is I went to, so mollymore.com at the time was that one-page site. People gave me their name, their email, and their phone number, because I knew I wanted to text them. You might not know how to do phone number, name, and email, but at the very least, I'm going to give you two. If you have no money to collect emails, use this website, Mailer, M-A-I-L-E-R, Mailer Lite, L-I-T-E, Mailer Lite. That is one platform to collect emails if you don't have any money. And if you have a little bit of money, Active Campaign. So Mailer Lite to collect people's emails. It's important that you collect people's emails in any business, because you own your audience when you have their emails. You don't own your audience on Facebook, on Instagram, none of these social sites. They could shut down today. Oh, well. But when you have emails, you could take that with you wherever you go. So it's always good to be collecting emails. So you're going to collect people's emails before the Kickstarter launches, and you're going to be reminding them. So I would say at least 2 or 3 weeks before. I would say 2 weeks is good, 3 weeks is probably better. And so, but before the Kickstarter launches, at least once a week, touching base, like it's coming, while at the same time you're posting to social. It's coming, using Canva to create the social visuals. It's coming, it's coming. And what I did is I did a 5-day countdown, 5 days until Kickstarter launch, to 4 days, 3 days, 2 days, and I text people saying, right? And then it launched, and then I sent out a big email letting them know with Kickstarter, one of the best things to do when you launch is, one, have your social post ready, meaning like write out what you want to write to go with the post, as well as going to Canva and creating the visuals that you're wanting, you know, create those visuals that you're wanting, Mailer Lite and active campaign. Mailer lights, for those of you who are asking, and active campaign. Someone said, drop them gems and picking them up. I'm telling you, I'm putting you on the game, right? I told you, tag your friend, tell your sister and them, put you onto super game, okay? So mailer lights and active campaign, right? And so, but have your socials created before you launch your Kickstarter because it can be so hectic. So if your social posts are not created, meaning that you have like some of the social posts, like I took, for example, so this is the back of the Molly Moore book. So I asked my illustrator, can you give me each of these individual pictures? And I uploaded them to Canva. So in Facebook size and Instagram size and Facebook swipe, Instagram swipe up, I also like grabbed like visuals from the book like this. I was like, oh, I want her running, you know? So you see what I mean? Like grab those things, put them in Canva so they're ready, because you don't want at the same time that you're managing the Kickstarter, because you're gonna have to be answering people's questions and messaging people back, that you want the visuals to already be done, ideally. And also too, you're wanting that you've written out what words you want to go along with. They call that copy in marketing. What copy do you want to go along with the visuals? Have that done already. It's going to just be so much easier. Okay. If you're just joining, we're talking about how to crowdfund your goals. That's what we're talking about. Okay. So we talked about create your socials ahead of time. Canva is your BFF. I like to do a countdown. Like I said, I did a countdown to launching the Kickstarter. Now, here's what I wish I would have done differently. Something I did do right, which I'm glad, is that I had what they call an early bird. So you right now, in order to get the book, it's $30, right? So it's not, the book doesn't cost $30, but all of the book comes with all of these. Remember I told you that with Kickstarter comes with rewards. The book and all the rewards, the lowest tier to get the book is $30. You can do a tier for $1, $5, whatever, and you get other smaller things, but you don't get the book until you pay $30. But during the pre-order, you can get that tier, that $30 tier for $25. For $25. So during pre-order for 24 hours, I took $5 off 2 tiers, and people flooded to that. Knowing what I know now, what I would have done differently is I could have made the pre-order, the early bird 30, and then the regular 35. And I would have made just a little bit more money, actually a few $1,000s more, that people were willing to pay a little bit more. I feel like I undercut myself a little bit because I was like, oh, I don't think people are going to pay that. So that's something I would have done differently. But having those early bird specials, great. Also going into Canva, because when it comes to your Kickstarter page, you have to have things like your story. There's literally a section called FAQ. So what are frequently asked questions that people might ask? Fill those in. Your story, there's a story section, which basically says, tell us about your Kickstarter. Make it as visual as you can. Make those visuals in Canva. Instead of giving like this whole long story about myself, I actually created a timeline. If you go to mollymore.com, you can visually see. I actually created a timeline where you can kind of see and track, like, how did I come to the idea of Molly Moore? So I can illustrate it without it being boring. And so visual, make that story section of Kickstarter visual, and make sure you do a Kickstarter video. That you are 60% likely to be successful in Kickstarter if you make a Kickstarter video. So make a Kickstarter video. Like I said, you can make the video straight from your computer. Just get it done in one straight take, no more than 5 minutes. Try to keep it as brief as you can. Upload it to, I think Kickstarter takes YouTube as well. Even if it doesn't take YouTube, if you upload it to your computer, then you can upload it to Kickstarter. So, but definitely make a video. Even if you don't have the money to pay someone, you can do it yourself. Let me see. Oh, also too, have your social media account. So for me, I was like, okay, I have my social media account, The Budgetnista, but I really wanted Molly Moore to have its own identity. So before I started anything, I got Molly Moore on Instagram, on Twitter, on Snapchat, on Facebook. I got on all the, I have Molly. So someone else had Molly Moore, but I got Molly_Moore on all the platforms. So go ahead and grab that, because you're going to want to be tagging that page. So within the first 2 weeks, I think I was able to grow Molly Moore. Like, I think we had like 300 or 400 followers on Instagram and like 100 or so on Facebook, because I kept tagging Molly Moore from my personal page and my Budgetnista page. You know, so consider, it doesn't have to be, but consider having a separate page for your project. That might help as well. Okay. All right. Rewards. So figuring out, so here's a mistake I made with rewards. what I underestimated how much people just wanted the book. People just was like, girl, I just want the book. So I had rewards that weren't the book and nobody bought those. So I learned, like, for example, knowing what I would have known now, I had this one reward where I was like, I'll fly you out to New York, come hang out with me. We'll do a one-on-one, all this other stuff. I think it was like $3,500, right? Because I have plenty of travel points, so it wasn't going to cost me money out of pocket. But I was like, did nobody want that? You know what they wanted? The book. Knowing what I know now, what I would suggest to you is, if people are really wanting your watch or your doll or whatever it is, give them multiples of that at the higher reward tier. So one book plus all of these like other free, all these other swag things is $30. But then, I quickly realized that people were asking me, I want to buy more than just one book. So now I have, you can buy one book, you can buy 3 books, you can buy 5 books, you can buy 10 books, you can buy 30 books. And people have been buying it. Someone just bought 30 books the other day. I was like, wow. And 30 books was like, they get to buy 30 and give 30. So ultimately it's 60 books and for $700. And I was like, wow. Somebody bought that. If I had not had that there, they would not have gotten it. It's like a real estate investor who was like, you know what? I grew up in Newark and I want these kids to have this book. So I'm going to buy 30 books for these kids here. And I want you to be able to donate 30 books. So do you see? So the lesson I learned from me anyway, is that people are coming to the Kickstarter for the thing itself. They came for this. So give them this multiple times. That's what I would have done differently, because in the beginning is when you're going to get the biggest rush. And I wish I would have used that rush toward that, people seeing that I had more expensive tiers to get multiple books, and I did it because I didn't know any better, but you learn, you know? What else things? So rewards are really important, figuring out the rewards. Here's a way to kind of offset the cost of rewards, because anytime you do something physical, remember I showed y'all, I got magnets. I think these magnets are like, I don't know, it costs like maybe like $3 a piece. It's not cheap, right? And then tote bags, maybe this tote bag cost me like $7 maybe, you know? These things are not inexpensive. And so what I try to do is make sure you also have digital rewards. So I had my designer make me take some pages from the book and make a digital, what's it called, coloring page, right? And so digital coloring pages are, you know, that was a great reward, because think about it, it doesn't, once I paid for that digital coloring page to be done, I don't have to pay for it anymore. And I can deliver it to you for free. So I was really looking at, so what are some digital things? And y'all know me as the budgetista. So I was like, well, what if I do a lesson to teach you how to teach your kids about money? And I record that lesson right on my computer. I mean, I have a videographer, so I'll probably do it with him. But that lesson was a digital download. That's one of the rewards. You see what I mean? So figuring out how can you, how can you give real value that maybe doesn't cost as much money to create or deliver, you know, on top of the physical thing that you're actually delivering. Okay. Okay. Something that helped a lot is keeping in contact. So once you get the ball rolling, now Kickstarter has started. There's an update section of Kickstarter. You should be updating at least once a week. So Kickstarter, I say do your Kickstarter for 30 days, no more than that, 30 days. And the updates, I would say at least once a week, probably twice. So twice a week, I would send an update. And what an update does in Kickstarter, there's literally a button for it that you can upload pictures and video and all this other stuff to the update, is that it allows you, the updates allow you to keep in contact with the people who have backed your reward, backed your project. So I would update, and I would all like see, every time I update it, I would see an uptick, because in the update, I would use the update to say stuff like, you know, like, hey, we did it. Or I remember when the doll was made, we have a doll. And I'd be like, you know what? You didn't know that we had a doll? You can upgrade your Kickstarter to purchase the doll. And here's how, step by step. Do you see? Or like, I remember somebody made me a Molly Moore song, and it was awesome. So I posted on my socials, of course, but then I also sent an update. I also sent an update where I was like, here's the song, isn't it so great? But an update reminds people that Kickstarter is happening. And also too, an update, you encourage people to share with other people. So that's gonna be really, Kickstarter, yes, it's gonna be really important. Okay. So yes, emails, social posts, you should be like, yes, you should really be engaging at least almost daily, if not daily, via your social, in fun and engaging ways to get people to know that your Kickstarter is live. Because here's the thing, people don't like, oh, I don't want to annoy people, and I don't. People need to see things anywhere from 7 to 10 times before they make a move. So if you're not sharing, are you going live? Like now I'm going live, right? Are you going live? Are you sharing with people that you have this Kickstarter and it's happening? So that's going to be an important component. Just my makeup is beautiful. Thanks, girl. I'm just trying to think like what else? What else? All right. Let me see. Oh, something that helped tremendously was what I called dialing for dollars. And so what dialing for dollars was, so a friend of mine, so what's going to happen is most Kickstarter is it's your family and friends that really like support you during your Kickstarter. So people that you actually know. And so I would say the first week of Kickstarter, we were like rocking and rolling. Not the first week, really the first weekend. And what you hope is that you get to be picked as projects we love. That's why you want your Kickstarter to have a video. That's why you want it to look really good. If you need an example of what it should look like, go to mollymore.com, MALIMORE. I pinned it here for you in Instagram and for you here on Facebook. And so you're wanting people to see like just how nice it looks, and Kickstarter pick me as a project we love. So that way you can get more attention. It's basically free marketing, right? So we were picked that as like a day 2. And so once the excitement started to die down, I started to do something. I was asking my friend, what should I do? And she said, you need to start dialing for dollars. And I said, okay, what does that mean? It meant that I created this little paragraph. Hey, it's me, Tiffany the Budgetista. Did you know I have a book coming out? And then I gave him a picture. This is the cover. If I would love if you would support, and every book you buy, I'm able to give away a book. And even better yet, if you share the cover on your social. So one evening, maybe like weekend 2, sent that to over 200 people, like people that I knew via Facebook. I would change out. It took a while, but I was literally like, I think me and my husband were like watching a movie, like, in the basement. And I was literally switching out names like, hey, Sarah, long time no see. Hey, Miriam, how's the baby? So I would edit the beginning because I wanted people to know it was a real person. So I would edit the beginning and I would just literally copy, paste, change the beginning, copy, paste, change the beginning. And remember, attaching a copy, because you want to make it easy for people to share for you, right? So I did that. And then I also text and I also Instagram. Know this about Facebook. Most people don't check their Facebook Messenger. So, and if they do, it's 2 or 3 days later. So I realized that like the money, the dollars started rolling in 2 or 3 days later after Facebook, but Instagram people check instantly. So the people that I message, they would see instantly. A lot of people, social media prevents people sometimes from seeing your stuff. So there are people who I reached out to, they were like my mentor, my mentee. I didn't know, girl. So I started dialing for dollars. And that weekend, with me dialing for dollars, I was afraid to dial for dollars. But when I did, $5,000 is how much I raised. I was like, what? Dial for dollars, meaning message people personally, text them personally, Instagram them personally, create that one message and just switch out the beginning part so people know it's actually you. Like, how's the baby, Maria? How's little Oliver? How's the dog? You see what I mean? So people know it's you, because once people know it's you, then they navigate differently, So definitely dial for dollars. That was so helpful. And then don't be afraid to put your parents and your people in your family to work. I gave it to my mama and my daddy. I gave them the specific paragraph and I showed them this is how you forward it. Especially foreign parents, they love them some WhatsApp. They was WhatsApping for me, WhatsApping. And it was so helpful. They raised me another like couple $1,000s. So dialing for dollars is because when people ask you personally, there's a personal touch there. And so definitely dial for dollars. Yeah, I'm just trying to think, like, does anybody have any questions? I feel like we're doing good. Anybody have any questions? Yeah, I just feel like, yeah, Facebook is not checked out all the time. So we're talking about Kickstarter. How do you fund your goals? And how I was able to, in that first weekend, 40% funded. By week 2, 100% funded. And now we are about $10,000 over. And we're just trying to close out at another 5,000. Oh, stretch goals. This is something important too. Stretch goals is think ahead of time. If you get funded, what are you gonna do with the extra money? You should know. And so I knew already with every extra $5,000, I did the math. Remember I told you I had that math. I did the math. It was like, I can give another 200 books away. So I did the math and I can hire one more teacher. So having stretch goals already lined up. And I actually had a stretch goals visual made in Canva that we talked about earlier, Canva, CANVA.com. So having stretch goals aligned, because once you're literally, I had people say, oh, you already funded. I'm like, no, we're not over until tomorrow. Keep going, keep going, you know? Let me see. What else? There was something else that was really important I wanted to share with y'all that was like, oh my gosh, this was so important. I wish I would have known. Stretch goals, the visuals. How much to ask for. You don't want to ask for too little, but you don't want to ask for too much. Like I imagine if I asked to raise $100,000, unless I had like a huge, I have a big audience, but 100,000 is a huge stretch, right? So I really was going back and forth with how much I thought I could raise, because you want to really be able to raise it at least within the first week or two, you know, to know that, so you don't want to be sweating down to the wire, because a lot of these like Kickstarter, if you don't fully fund your project, you don't get none of the money. So let's just say I was trying to raise try to raise the 35,000 and I raised 34.5, 34,500, $500 short. Kickstarter be like, oh, too bad, girl. You didn't raise the money. The way Kickstarter works is they don't charge people until the end of the campaign. So you want to make sure you're not asking. I had a friend ask for 80,000 and she raised 20. She didn't get that 20. I know she was like, dang, she could have used that 20. So you want to be really mindful not to ask for too much, you know? Yeah, you do tell people the stretch goals. That you do tell people the stretch goals, not in the beginning. You tell people the stretch goals once you are fully funded. Then you're like, stretch goals. So you want to be updating the story. I'm constantly updating if you were to go to mollymore.com, you can see this little, like, we created this thing in Canva. It's like a little ruler. It says fully funded. And then it says, this is what my stretch goals are, you know? And so what was the initial seed money for promoting your book? Was this the initial seed money? Yes. So, well, no, because for me, the book, I had to pay for the illustrator. I wrote the book myself, but I had to pay for the illustrator. So that was like the initial seed money. And then, so, you know, so mostly this money is used for printing. For some people, you might have something that's so expensive to make. Let's just say you are creating, like I said, let's pretend this is a new rocket ship. You don't have the seed money to make even the prototype, which is okay. So you just have enough money of your own just to get the drawings made. And that's what you show to your Kickstarter audience. You see what I mean? And so Kickstarter allows you to earn the money, or to get the money to get the prototype made and then get them sent out to people. So it's a great way to fund your goals. Honestly, it's a great way. And like I said, it's a lot of work, but it's a great way. And if you'd like, now it's time for my plug. We have literally less than 24 hours left. What I'm doing you want to make your goals super clear. So every time you donate to the Molly Moore Kickstarter campaign and get yourself a copy of this book, not only for every hardcover book that you get, I am able to give away books to a low-income child. Right now, we're up to 1,500 books I'm able to give away, because that's how many books were ordered, which is amazing, honestly. And then 2, I use the excess money. I'm able to hire right now up to 6 teachers. You know, teachers don't get paid much. 6 teachers to write financial curriculum that I'm now giving away back free to you. So when the teachers I'm hiring to write the curriculum that I can then put on mollymore.com when it comes back to its regular site, because right now mollymore.com is a Kickstarter site. Can someone type in www.mollymore.com in the comments for me, please? I'm able to hire 6 teachers with the money we raised thus far. So you want to be really clear about your goals. With the money I'm raising, 1, books for children in low-income communities. 2, hire financial educators to write curriculum that I can give free right back to you, you know? So yeah, I know, it's not amazing. mollymore.com. So I would love, honestly, it's less than 24 hours left. It's probably like, I don't know, 20 or 15 hours left. Even if you can give $1, $5, if I've helped you in any way tonight, if I've helped you with your budget, with credit, with anything, if you have, like, I think the smallest amount that Kickstarter will take is $1. If you want to get the book, like, you start at 30. If you want to do multiple books, honestly, I would love your support. Financial education, to me, it is not a privilege. It's a right. We need it. The reason why I used to be a preschool teacher for 10 years, and the reason why I kind of came back for the babies after 10 years of teaching adults to be the budgetnista is y'all are really having a hard time. And I recognized that, and I thought, where does it all start? And for me, I learned financial education at home. My father was a CFO and an accountant. And as a result of learning it at home, I have helped over 1 million women and their families get and stay on financial track. So I thought to myself, well, if it started with me when I was 3 and 4, what if I could start with your 3 and 4-year-old by writing a financial children's book, but not like financial, like this is money, but like a what I call pre-financial, counting, numbers, sharing, giving, service, community. That's what this book teaches. And at the back of these books, I already started with the lesson plans. I put activities, financial lessons you can do with your kids, and questions you can ask to extend the lesson. And it's all available at www.mollymore.com. And so for me, the Kickstarter is not just to raise money to print the books. I also wanted to really, it's mostly to raise money to get that curriculum done. I helped with a friend of mine who's an Assemblywoman Angela V. McKnight. We helped to get a law passed last year making financial education mandatory for middle school students in the state of New Jersey, where I live. There's already a law in place for high school. She and I are then going to work on a law for elementary school. But what happens if you live in a state where financial education is not mandatory? I thought about that a lot. I said, well, what if there's a place in the space, mollymore.com, once it's not the Kickstarter, what if there's a place in the space that you can go and download free curriculum, lesson plans, and it breaks it down for you how to teach your child in a way that's age appropriate? Like, well, how awesome would that be? And so that's what really, like, for me, that's what the Kickstarter funds, like the main goal outside of like giving books to children in low income communities, because low income community children tend to have way less access to quality books, and having books at home is one of the best ways to help them circumvent the challenges they have because of their current circumstances. Okay. All right. So yeah. So like, with Kickstarter, you want to be really clear. Now, not everyone's Kickstarter, because mine is altruistic, because I've already chosen a long time ago that I was going to live a life of service. Now, your Kickstarter might be like, the goal is to raise money so I can build this truck. And then you guys can, or this watch or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that for me, but the key with Kickstarter to have a successful Kickstarter is to be clear about your goals, whatever they are. People don't mind. They just want to know. Okay. So like I said, for me, you already know I live a life of service. The Budgetista is a life of service. Before that, I was a school teacher. Like, service is something that's important to me, but it doesn't have to be a mission of your Kickstarter. It's just for me and mine. Okay. So here is something, somebody asked me, who's my printer? So I use this company called Wise Ink. I don't know if you can see Y. I know it's backwards, Wise Ink. So I use them because they were a hybrid company. I actually got a huge book publisher, huge. If I say their name, you're like, oh, they wanted to buy my book. And I said, no, because them buying my book, they wanted to buy my book for, I won't say the exact number, so they don't know I'm trying to play them. They wanted to buy my book. Well, they're not the only one that wanted to buy my book, but they wanted to buy the book for, now I've raised almost twice as much as they wanted to buy the book for. Can you imagine? So imagine if I was to sell this book to a major publisher, meanwhile, I don't raise twice as much. That's why I was like, no, I'll figure it out myself. So for me, I went with Wise Ink because they're a hybrid. They're a hybrid between a traditional publisher, because you can't get in Target and Walmart and Barnes and Nobles with a self-published book. You have to have a publisher behind you. But I wanted a publisher where I get to retain my rights and keep my book and own my book while having a publisher's support to get into places that I cannot get to as Tiffany. Wise Ink can get in, but here's the thing though, I had to pay out of pocket. I have to print my own books. Normally the publisher will print the book. I ain't gotta worry about how much it is per book. I have to, that's why I did the Kickstarter. I have to print my own books. I had to find my own illustrator. Normally you don't have to find your own illustrator, but I had to. Normally you don't have to get the art director. I had to. Normally you don't have to get the graphic designer. That's the person that puts the words on the page. I had to. Normally you don't have to pay for copy editing. The publisher takes care of it. I had to. So that's why you see why I had the Kickstarter, to help offset some of those costs in exchange for you getting the book. Okay. So yeah. So, I mean, for me, it made sense. What's a good amount to request for a book? I'm not sure what you mean. That if somebody offers you a book, it depends on what you feel. Like for some people, like you mean like a publisher asking? I mean, I know people who have signed 7-figure, 6-figure contracts, not for a children's book, for like a regular book. I actually don't know what a good number, I don't know, maybe that number they gave me for the children's book was good, but I knew that number they gave, I could raise that in Kickstarter. And I did ×2. So you have to know yourself. If they would have caught Tiffany 5 years ago, not 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I'm finna take it. You know, I might be like, you know what? We can buy other children's books. But that's different. I'm in a different space now. You know I built up my audience enough that I could raise that myself. You know, I'm not sure what you mean, suited to battle. What's a good amount to request for a book? What do you mean to like how much money to raise? That's why you have to, I can't tell you, you have to do the financials for yourself. I knew that I wanted to give away at least 1,000 books and I wanted to hire at least 4 teachers. So I did the backwards math of how much will that cost before asking for the money that I asked for. So there's no way. Oh, yes, Libra. She's tú eres muy inteligente. Oh, okay. Comprendo un poquito. Yo, my Spanish is the worst. Yes. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm answering some of your questions. Do you guys have additional questions? Well, if not, you know, we've been to just, you know, blow this joint. Any other questions that you guys have? Questions? Like I said, Wise Inc. INK. So you see, Wise Inc. INK. Wise Inc. INK. So I'm just showing it to Facebook as well. INK, like, you know, it sounds like ink, but INK. Yeah, it should be wiseinc.com. I'm pretty sure. If you just Google Wise Inc., it should come up. I don't know if they're org or co or whatever, but Wise Inc., just what Wise Inc. Publishing, they should come up. But like I said, they're a hybrid publisher, and I like, you know, INK, K like kite. Okay. So yeah, like I said, if you haven't that already, pinned here on IG, mollymoore.com. I would love your support here on Facebook, mollymoore.com. It's in the comments. If tonight was helpful, if you ever thought about doing a Kickstarter or crowdfunding, and tonight was helpful, $1, $5, $10, a book, just know that in doing so, you enable me to do even more for our community. You enable me to do even more for you and your kids and the kids that you know in your life. Yeah, so like every deposit that you make into me, I'm able to then multiply the deposit and give it right back to you as the community. So I'm just really grateful. You know, choose your reward. We go to, for those who have never been to Kickstarter, you go to Kickstarter, well, you go to mollymoore.com and you'll see the Kickstarter, it'll say back this project. It's usually like a green or blue button. You'll click on it and then you choose your reward. So you keep scrolling till you see the cheapest, not the cheapest, but the least expensive reward is at the top. You keep scrolling and you can kind of read the reward and all the details. Like, oh, I like this. No, I like this. I like that. And decide like, you know what, I've got $100 to spend, let's just say. And you see a reward that's close to that. Oh, you know what? Oh, I want to get this signed, sealed, delivered. 3 books signed by the Budgetnista. Okay, $125. And it comes along with all the swag. Got it. Then you choose that project. It's going to ask you for like your name and all this other stuff. And then once the Kickstarter expires, like I said, less than 24 hours. And after that, I don't know what's going to happen after that. Because, you know, well, that's not true. I know that we're going to be like scrambling to like get like regular pre-orders, I guess later. But we're working on that. But now I know, like, because I've already kind of set aside in my head how many books I'm able to print. So the people who order now, you don't have to wait. We'll be mailing out books by April. Everybody else, you likely won't see a book until summertime, you know, until that's ready again. So if you don't want to wait on your Happy Birthday Molly Moore book, go to mollymoore.com. Less than 24 hours left to go to support the Kickstarter. Yeah, I'm just really grateful for y'all. And thank you for those of you who shared today. And I hope that this was useful and helpful. Yeah, thank you. I'm about to hang up here. I just want to make sure you guys are good over here. No questions. Because sometimes you'll be having questions, but you don't be asking. Well, it's too late now. Bye.